Thank you everyone for coming out, and welcome in Angola Drum Ensemble. Thank you guys so much for making your way out here. Just a little bit about ourselves. So this semester, we all came together in this class to really understand how the nonprofit environment works. And through that, we learned how to make proposals, how to understand grant applications, how to review those applications. And so throughout that entire process, we were able to figure out our main mission. So we know we wanted to fund a not-for-profit organization that was within the underfunded sector of the performing arts in New Orleans. And so with that information, we used all the knowledge that we had been acquiring over the semester to make our applications and get out our proposal requests.
Thank you, Quinn. So, I need to read off of this. So, I'm going to take you guys through how our class crafted our RFP. So first, it should be noted that this course is designed around making hard decisions using scarce resources, and that is exactly what we were tasked with. We recognize that performing arts in New Orleans has no funding structure outside of this class, and it was imperative that we did our due diligence and reflect our mission as grant makers. Therefore, we took time to study the impact of performing arts in New Orleans and how diversity and inclusion problems can restrict access to performing arts for many New Orleanians. So throughout the semester, this class was heavily discussion-based. In determining our RFP structure, we wanted to take note of what a reasonable time may be expected of applicants to spend on this application, as well as any funding restrictions if we so did choose to include that in the RFP. Additionally, we reflected inwards and talked about our own internal biases and preconceptions, as well as what impact looks like. For example, is impact giving all of the $10,000 to a new or an old organization that may have more infrastructural capacities, for example? Likewise, is impact giving all of our money to one organization or spreading that up within several organizations? And finally, our class took it upon ourselves to make sure that this application was as accessible as possible. We wanted to remove as much burden as possible from the applicants on their end. We also wanted to let applicants tell their own stories in a manner they saw fit, so we provided both written and video submission options. So now we're going to take you guys through how we reviewed these applications and the rubric.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about how, as a class, we sort of came up with our scoring system in the rubric. And so what we started with is that we split the class into different groups, and each group sort of discussed with each other about what they wanted to keep on the rubric, and we based it on a sort of more generic grant rubric that we had, but we decided to make some adjustments just to suit the applicants we expected to have. But the main themes on each of our rubrics were fit in terms of how does the organization fit within the performing arts that we're looking for? Do their mission match what our grant is aiming for? And we also looked at relevance, justification, feasibility, and previous successes. And we just thought that these themes would help us sort of score each applicant fairly. So once each group came up with their own rubric, we just kept voting until we finally narrowed it to one. And so this is the first three parts of the rubric we had. We found that impact was sort of the largest part of the rubric, and community, we just wanted to make sure that all of our applicants were going to impact the New Orleans community. And so that's why it had like the largest portion of our rubric. Organization just has to do with how well the organization runs and how well it matches what the grant looks for. Sustainability and relation to the arts, while they're still important, we wanted to make them a bit smaller because we understand that some organizations are smaller and so it might be more difficult to judge their sustainability on. And for fit and relevance, as I said earlier, those are important just because we want to make sure that all applicants, or that we measure how the applicants actually benefit the New Orleans community and how relevant they are to the people that live in this area. And for feasibility, practicality was very important because we wanted to make sure that all the applicants and the goals that they were aiming for were actually sort of within the means of the grant that they're applying for, and that their plans were likely to succeed. But again, that's very hard to measure, which is why the potential for success is only out of 5. And then finally, we have justification and assessment. This is a very difficult section sometimes to use just because every organization is different, has a different history, and has a different size. So achieved goals is just about how we would measure how the organization would achieve their goals. And again, for measurable, it is important, but we wanted to make it small because it is very hard to measure the success that a project will bring. And who do they serve and relates to the organization or the organization's mission. Again, it's more along the lines of, are they benefiting this New Orleans community, and how does the application justify that?
So over the course of 4 to 5 class periods, we decided how to narrow down the 13 applications that we received. This was very difficult because the 13 applications were all excellent organizations. We wanted to fund all of them. On the first day, in round 1, we each got in groups and reviewed 2 applications. And then at the end of the class, we would present them to the rest of the class, give our rubric score, explain what we liked about them. And then we voted after that day on which 5 would be the best applications for round 2. Round 2, we narrowed them down to 5, and each group reviewed a different application than we reviewed on day 1 to get a fresh set of eyes on each of these organizations. At the end of that day, we presented on each of our applications again, and this narrowed it down to 3 applications we really liked for round 3. And in round 3, we had a roundtable discussion where we each discussed 3 applications, and we narrowed them down to 2 that we really, really liked. And at the end of this day, we decided there was 2 organizations that we really wanted to fund both of them because they were both really excellent organizations with a great mission and a great idea for how they would use the money.
Okay, thank you all. With all of that about our process in mind, the first organization we have the honor of funding today with a check for $3,000 is Make Music NOLA. From our very first round of deliberations, we were blown away with the wide demographic Make Music NOLA targets through their programs, as well as their solidified presence in the music world. Your application was thoughtful, precise, and upon further research, we were continuously impressed by your work. From your workshops to performances to field trips, summer camps, and concerts, it is clear that your reach is far beyond just a weekly class, but it is helping mold the lives of young artists and their families. As a class, we had the chance to watch the recorded performance of 2 Make Music NOLA students play with T-Ray the violinist and their advanced violin teacher. And just from this video, the impact you have on the youth of New Orleans was clear. Music changes their lives. Having an after-school program or virtual classes with comprehensive schedules and accessibility measures in places changes their lives. Your dedication to serving the demographic of kids often excluded from typical music programs, like children with single parents, children on the spectrum, children with ADHD, and children who take part in free lunch programs, was nothing short of inspirational. And we want nothing more than to see you continue in your reach. We hope that our funds can be in help of expanding your reach to local schools through further subsidized programs, in addition to aiding you through your search for more classroom space, members, and staff. Thank you for all that you do, and it has been amazing seeing all that you have already accomplished. We would now like to give a round of applause for Make Music NOLA and watch their acknowledgement clip on the screen.
Hi, y'all. My name is Angela Herbert White, and I am the Interim Executive Director at Make Music NOLA. Hello, I wish I could be there to meet you all and to hear about this. I'm so intrigued by your class and the work you all have been doing this semester, so I would love to hear more about that. And also, I would have loved the opportunity to be in person to say thank you for supporting us and for selecting us. I want to tell you a little bit more. I know you read the application and all that, but I figure part of this also is to give you a chance to kind of hear a little bit more about what goes on at Make Music NOLA. And I actually don't want to say a whole lot because I have a young person who I'm going to try and get their video attached because they have a little performance they want to send your way. So Make Music NOLA, we are typically in the after school and Saturdays, we are based out of Treme, after school Saturday program in Treme, and then we also go during the day into schools that don't otherwise have music programs or otherwise don't have music programs that have that musical foundations piece that we bring. So all day, into the evening, that's what we're doing, music instruction. It's just wonderful to see kids' faces light up when they get it, see how they go from really, really nervous to incredibly proud in times when we have performances. And one of the most amazing things about the way Make Music NOLA works is that our students are wonderful. They actually come from all over the city, not just the Treme neighborhood. But their instructors are professional New Orleans musicians. So our students are learning from men and women who are kind of doing the thing, right? They're out there, they're yes performing, yes that is their living, but in addition to that, they have all of that understanding and experience within the culture and the heritage of New Orleans music. So that is really, really special. So they get to bring that as well. So in musical instruction for sure, getting this connection to their heritage, giving kids a chance to build their own creative legacies. We have instructors who are really expert in the history of New Orleans music, so our students get to experience that too. And then when it comes to performance time, really, really cool is those professional musicians who are teaching, and then other musicians as well that we partner with, they come in and perform alongside our young people. So our young people get a chance to shine on their own, but they also get a chance to see really clearly the importance of practice and preparation before those performances, and then professionalism as well, and that's a lot of P's. But they get to see real musicians doing the real thing, and actually they are real musicians too because they're right there with them in the performances. It's an incredible experience. So I'm going to stop in a minute, except I want to be sure to say that as you all go into your spring, if any of you are curious or would love to come out and see Make Music NOLA, we would love to have you. You can send me an email, angela@makemusicnola.org, and we could let you know, good day to come, good programming, whatever, because it really is just such a joyful thing. And we have some performances too. This Saturday, actually, we're having our winter concert at noon, so you can email me if you're interested in coming to that too. It's a really, really joyful experience as well. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Good luck as you finish this semester. I hope you really enjoyed this class. I hope you have a wonderful break. And I hope that this spring we get a chance to maybe meet in person too. All right, take care.
Ready? 1, 2, ready, and.
Beautiful. All right. And now, thank you again, Music NOLA. We would like to present our second awardee, the Nafungula Sibo African Drum and Dance Company, with a grant for $7,000. Round of applause. Reading your application, the energy and spirit of your organization flooded off the page. Watching your highlight reels on YouTube and Facebook showed us the truly infectious joy your organization spreads through drum and dance. Upon looking deeper into the Nafungula name, what stood out to us was your presence in the community, your deep ties and connections between all ages and all walks of life. We were all touched by how your programs embody true inclusivity and accessibility, bringing together people of all ages from all parts of the world, like Cuba, Guinea, and Mali, to enjoy traditional cultural dance and growth. Your commitment to the whole person, the spirit and their well-being coming first, is something that makes you stand out, something we want to recognize and celebrate. Not to mention, your costume work is nothing short of impeccable. From your past Congo Square festivals, to your community dance and drum workshops, to your work in schools, we see what you are doing and we want to help open that reach. We hope that with this $7,000, you will be able to continue subsidizing programs in local New Orleans schools, as well as put towards your Nomads Festival expenses or long-term travel plans. We wish you the best of luck on your trip to Guinea to take in more of the practices and bring back knowledge to share with the community. It has been truly an honor learning about all the work you do, and now we welcome you up to accept this check and speak on behalf of your organization.
First of all, I want to say thank you. It was a big surprise. We had no idea we were coming here to receive an award. We were racing here to explain and plead our case on why we should be awarded some funding in person. So I just want to say thank you. I am Mickey, African name Mayeni Caesar. I'm a native of New Orleans, Louisiana. I started doing traditional West African dance in 1986 under the great late Papa Abdullah Kamara from Senegal, West Africa. I'm certified from the Guinea Republic as a master teacher in dance. I've been putting in this work for a very, very long time, just with the community abroad, and I just want to say thank you for just believing in us to give us one shot, and I hope that you will be able to come out August the 13th of 2023 to see what this money will do for the city of New Orleans. So without further ado, thank you once again. I am the Chief Executive Director of Mfongola Sibo, and I'm going to now pass the mic to my brother, Solomon Mason, co-producer and lead drummer for Mfongola Sibo.
Thank you. Like she just said, I thought we were just coming here for a meeting, just to sit down and talk. And I walk in and I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. And I walk in, I see the name on the poster. I don't think I can really have the words to say how much this really means. Our whole lives, this has been what we've done, performing arts and giving back to the communities in more ways than one. Not just being on stage, but directly in schools, at the drum circles. You know, you can find us anywhere. And when it comes to African drum, dance, cultural arts, and exploration, it's all us, right? I've been doing this for my entire life, and this is the kind of things that give us that extra push and just keep us going, you know? And you're doing a wonderful thing. You're doing a very, very wonderful thing. This class is amazing. This whole thing is an amazing premise. The foundation, the vision, everything. It's a very wonderful thing because it impacts people that you don't even know in a positive way. So once again, thank you, and we greatly appreciate it.
I just would love for this young lady that's standing next to me to say just one small thing, because if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't be possible for us to be standing here. She is my right and left hand. She's my grant writer, and she's the one that puts my vision into place. So I just want to say thank you, Kira, for a job well done.
Yeah, you guys caught us off guard. I was prepping for this like we were going to have a conversation and tell you guys a little bit more about what we did. I'm a better writer than speaker. I sort of put it all out there and on the page, but I've been dancing and drumming with Mfangala for probably five years now, maybe 6. And the impact on the community is immeasurable. You know, I walked into a dance class. I walked into a traditional West African dance class with no prior knowledge of, no prior experience of West African dance. And I was welcomed like a family member, taught, became a performing member, worked hard, became family with these guys, and the impact we have on one another, but then watching Mikhail and Solomon work with kids in the community, being a mentor to young girls, young men, showing pride in the culture, giving kids not only something to do to occupy their time, but to enrich their spirit, showing kids the deep pride in their culture. You know, it's hard to be a kid. It's hard to be a black kid in New Orleans. It's hard to be a black low-income woman in New Orleans. It's hard to be a person in the world. And I'm so grateful this paid off. And I really appreciate, you know, we were talking recently about inclusivity in grant applications, because it's hard to write these things if you're not a writer. People have lots of good ideas. I'm sure your students, you've been through comp and rhetoric class, you know, you go in there and people that you know that are smart and have good ideas and are good thinkers can't put a paragraph together. And it's not the easiest thing to translate a vision if you don't have the skills of writing to translate it. So I appreciate Mikhail trusting me with this, with her vision, trusting me to translate it onto the page, and for you guys to support it. God, thank you. Sorry, I gotta give this back.
I hope to see you at our Nomads, which is a New Orleans African dance, music, and drum festival. And we'll have some featured New Orleans local musicians performing as well, bands all day, 3-day weekend classes, Senegal, Mali, Guinea, Cuba, you in the Ivory Coast, we're coming with it. So please, don't hesitate, come out, enjoy, keep us informed. We will keep you informed. We will send you out tickets to come and enjoy some of our festival and just come to see what we do with the youth and abroad. Thank you once again on behalf of Mfangala. We greatly appreciate the award.
Before we all go, just want to give a few thank yous. Thank you guys for the inspiring work you do in the city. Every kid in America needs to be pushed creatively and have the guidance that you guys provide. Thank you to Tulane CPS for allowing all this to happen, and our community sponsors NOVAC, Center for Sustainable Economic Development, and Arts New Orleans for allowing us to partake in your amazing work you do throughout the city. And Learning by Giving, which has allowed over 6,000 college students across the country to give out over $4 million to around 850 programs. And most of all, thank you to our teacher, Professor Scott. Without her, none of this would have been possible. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. Have a great day.